Finding that short-term efforts can't bring excessive returns will make people give up their efforts, which is especially obvious for smart people. In the past, when I was an undergraduate, I was almost surrounded by smart people. When these people were in high school, it took ordinary people a week to figure out the problem. They might only take half an hour to figure it out, and then they can answer the question with their eyes closed. This mechanism of short-term research bringing long-term excise returns has rapidly appeared in their learning career, leading to the illusion that everything can bring long-term returns through short-term efforts. Later, when I entered the university, there were more smart people around me. The dimension of life was no longer a single study. Many people found that the mechanism they were familiar with had gradually lost its function. So many people gradually lost their confidence and determination to struggle and were no longer willing to work hard. For example, you can't get 100 points if you just read a calculus book for a week. For example, chasing a girl doesn't mean you can express your success by associating with her for a week. For example, learning programming can solve the problem of the 8 impresses perfectly, not by doing C++ primer for a week. For example, learning to invest is not about studying Buffett for a week. After entering the adult world, the complexity of things has risen to more than one level. The circle of obtaining all returns has become longer and longer, and the effort and the persistence required are also increasing, while the proportion of the intelligence on which I rely before is also becoming smaller and smaller. People always attach importance to the results achieved by short-term efforts and despise the rewards brought by long-term efforts. When the short-term efforts fail to achieve the desired results, they are not willing to pay. A lot of people are slowly scrapped. When we talk about problems, we should also talk about ways to solve them. In fact, the reason for decadence mentioned above have appeared more or less in everyone, including myself, so I also have many ways to overcome it. I think the best way is to try many things through short-term efforts, which can be 2 weeks to a month. Later, if you encounter something more interesting because of perseverance, it doesn't matter. You can put it down first and move on to the next scene. After trying several scenes in this way, you can go back and sum up every other time to see which scenes have formed the subtle accumulation or change on yourself. Whether you can break through the bottleneck at that time, and whether it is worth continue to persist in doing.